let's talk next about Palo Alto Networks.
Perfect. I was hoping we were going to do this.
Yeah. So I heard you say, you're very interested in Palo Alto, and it's very close to the 200 level, right? And we know that that's one of those numbers that tells us a little bit about traders in general. It's already tested 200 twice. Okay? So this is what concerns me about this particular chart. Here's a high at the 200 zone, 207, and then did it kiss 200 today? Yes. It kissed 200 today and really backed off from these edges. And so what this formation looks like, if I were trading a 5-minute chart and I saw a high coming into a range that broke below a ton of support and bounced and then gave me a lower high, I would short it at the open of this candle. On a 5-minute formation, this is one of my favorite formations to look at, especially near big fat round numbers. I call it, because I borrowed it from a trader on X by the name of JJ, a look above and fail. So when you look above that big fat round number, it fails. Wait for it to retest that big fat round number. And if it can't hold it, there's a short. And so it works on a 1 minute, works on a 3-minute, 5-minute, 15-minute. It's very sweet. Okay. Very, very sweet. Very low risk.
And also, the look above is the candle going above that area, then not closing and coming back in. Yeah, that's okay. I like right that. There. Shout out JJ for that.
Yeah. So this lower high tells me we're likely to compress back into this 180 range. Now, here's the fly in the ointment, because no pattern works perfectly every single time. It's making the series of higher lows in a generally upward trending Keltner band. However, even as we have moved higher, the Keltner band is pointing down. Now, that's usually volatility expansion, but to me, this is concerning. And so they did beat.
Yeah, this is why I wanted to talk about this, because the report was pretty good. They just traded down after the report. So
yeah, and that's got to do with that big fat round number. In my mind. So what can we do there? Well, I have a natural bias here in terms of where it can retrace to. And so this was the trade that we had on in the room a while ago. So this trade is really doing very, very nicely overall as it comes into the space. It's about doubled, but we're going to look at something new. And my thought would be, let's dig down into this further mechanic where we choose that 65-ish zone, the delta in the 60s, and we expect the price action to come into 185 to 180, right? So instead of, we can do the 200 to 185, and then 15 points away, it's 70. Very expensive, right? Very, very expensive. So it's not ideal. If you're looking for where they're coming into, look at where all the traders are positioned here at 180. So let's choose that one as our middle strike. We choose the 90, the 180, and the 170. Gives us 183. Still a little bit pricier, but it's got a super high probability into that space if that pattern holds. Now, how do you know if it's going in the wrong direction? You set an alert and you look for a day close above 200. Doesn't matter what else is going on, day close over 200, hit the fire escape. Trade's gone. So I'm going to put an alert here. I'm going to create that. It'll sit right there. All right. Is there anything you're thinking about Palo Alto that might make you go, but what if it does blow off and give us another look above and then it fades? Could I ride it to the top that way? So easily you can say, all right, well, maybe it's a shorter term trade. Maybe I'll choose the 14th of March or maybe even the 7th. And I'll say, listen, I think this thing is going from 200 to 210. Maybe it goes to 220. It gives you $1.23 and you're up there. Let's see if it's cheaper on the 14th. No, more expensive. So if you are so inclined to take the upper edge and say, I think it's got a heater on it, then you could choose the call side. But for me, I like the put side because of the technical formation that I like to see. And that is a blow off top around a big fat round number, a pullback that breaks old resistance, new support, and then a bounce that fails at that same big fat round number.